Rooted in soil, nurtured by the sun, and brought to life by the hands of passionate winemakers. Winemaking in the Southeast, where the artistry of vineyards and grape-growing techniques intertwine to create vintages as diverse as the region itself.
The oldest vine in North Carolina, and actually in North America, is called the mother vine, and it is a muscadine vine, specifically a scuppernong vine, and she is estimated to be over 600 years old. In the 1850s, North Carolina really got on its feet when it came to winemaking and making an impact in the industry. And at that time, we were the largest grower and producer in the entire United States. In the early 1900s, when Prohibition hit, it stopped everything in its tracks. So it really took until the 1950s for crops to start actually being replaced by grapevines again. Really in the last 30 years, and specifically the last 20 years, North Carolina's industry has grown exponentially, and we now have over 200 wineries in the state and upwards of 500 growers.
So AVA means American Viticultural Area. It is essentially a designated, delineated area for growing grapes. A particular area has really great soil type, really wonderful weather and climate, and everything that comes together. In the French word, they say terroir. It means that this particular area is much better for grape growing. When you're talking about an AVA, you really are speaking to many different types of geological features, environmental factors that go into these different AVAs that are put through the TTB in order to get that. So they have to really bring forth all this data that it really is different and really is more conducive to particular varietals potentially and or different ways of growing the grapes. In North Carolina, we have 6 of them. I think it really speaks to how vast our grape growing is and how higher quality it is as well. Grape growing with AVAs is important because it really speaks to which ones you can grow there. Like the Yadkin Valley, which was our first AVA, is quite a big AVA, and so you can grow a lot of different grapes there, but it is really much better for some of the European vinifera varieties. When talking about AVAs across our state, we have some in the mountains, which are cooler climates. So other grapes, more hybrids, tend to grow really well there because they're more cold hardy. And then as we move all the way over to the coast, we get different varieties that really like sandier soils and that tend to be more heat hardy, like muscadine varietals tend to do a little bit better there.
Being a grape grower in North Carolina is very unpredictable. We have different weather patterns, different terroir, and we grow grapes from our coast to our mountains. So growing those is at some point about trial and error, and then following in the footsteps of who's done it successfully before. I truly believe that the future of North Carolina's grape industry is going to be a destination on the East Coast, where people come to experience wine, understand wine, and see what our state has to offer.
Fostering excellence in winemaking, promoting local vineyards, and celebrating its rich cultural heritage, the North Carolina Wine and Grape Council aims to advance the state's viticulture industry through research and education with a focus on sustainable growth and quality.
The mission of the North Carolina Wine and Grape Council is to facilitate development, research, marketing, education, anything that we can do to help quality, to increase the viability of our wine and grape industry. The council is really great at supporting our North Carolina wineries and grape growers in mainly marketing. A large portion of our budget goes towards marketing to really increase awareness and perception of our industry. Other parts of our budget will go to research and development in order to gain a better perspective on how we can increase our quality of our products, as well as workshops, classes, education that we work really closely with the associations like the NC Wine Growers Association and the NC Muscadine Grape Association. The council supports sustainable growth and quality with our industry by really accepting grants and producing and funding research and development that ultimately helps our product quality. And when our quality is going up, it really makes a good space for investors to want to bring new business and therefore grow our industry even further.
We're really heavily involved with visiting a lot of the vineyards. We're bloggers. We have a podcast. We're really interested and invested in learning about and educating other people about North Carolina wine. I think one of the big unique selling factors here is there's something for everyone. We have something for pretty much every type of wine drinker that's out there.
There's native grapes, muscadines. There are your traditional wine grapes like Chardonnay and Cabernet Sauvignon. There's fruit wine and cider and mead. And that's what's unique about North Carolina. It's one of the few places in the world that has that much diversity in its wine scene. So it's really following the wineries and vineyards on social media and going out and visiting and learning what's going on that way.
bringing people in is what we want to share. We've worked so hard to make wine that people love, and we just want to share it with everyone. I think the West Coast really made an impression in the 70s when it came to wine and has continued to grow and piggyback off of that. And I think that the East Coast is working really hard to maintain that footing. And people don't seem to realize that we have this abundance of farmland that's being dedicated to growing quality fruit for both winemaking and other things.
For enthusiasts of every palate, explore North Carolina's amazing wine producers and relax with a glass in a more relaxing place. To plan your visit, go to ncwine.org.